Does cosplay make you stressed? Are you someone who burns out with every costume they make?
If this sounds like you, well, you're in luck because today we're talking about how to manage stress, deal with burnout, and maximize your enjoyment at every convention.
Let's go! Welcome back to the JustBeCos podcast, a podcast about all things life and cosplay. I'm one of your hosts, Jeremy, as always, joined by the wonderful...
Daniela! Yay!
Yay! Welcome back, Danny. Thanks for joining me again. Danny, what are we talking about today?
Oh, today, this is a good one. We're going to be discussing the cosplay and con stress kind of, not dynamic, but just what it's like around con season and being a cosplay in general and freaking out and, you know, being overwhelmed and just be like, I can't do it, don't have enough time, I'm stressed, help me. Something I think we all struggle with.
Yeah. We'll also be talking about stuff apart from just stressing the hell out. Like what happens if you get FOMO? How do you kind of juggle that with your real life? How do you kind of actually make sure that you're enjoying cosplay and you continue to do it without going like, nope, that con sucked. I got too stressed. I quit. How do we prevent that?
Yeah, exactly. So first up, I'm pretty sure we wanted to touch into burnout and overdoing it. Is that right? Am I right in that?
You are right. Danny, have you ever been so burnt out by cosplay you're like, nope, that's it, I'm done, I'm not touching this shit again? Has that ever happened to you?
I'm trying to think. I feel like, yeah, definitely. Actually, I was thinking too deeply about it. I was like, no, 100% every year at the end of the, year, I'm like, okay, next year, I'm not going to con crunch. I'm not going to burn myself out and say yes to everything. And sometimes I learn a little bit, but a lot of the time, like we were just talking about earlier, actually, you're like, Daniela, you're working on another costume. I was like, yeah, I am. Sometimes I just get hyper fixated on something and I need to make it then and there. And then I have all these unfinished projects and then you stress because you should have spent that time on your main big project. But that is just how it is. Okay. What about you, Jeremy?
It's interesting. Like, I really had to think about this because I know everybody goes through this level of self-realization about cosplay at some point in time. The first 2, 3, 4 costumes I ever made was, this is what the picture says. This is the exact shade of red that the jacket needs to be. And if it's not that, it's wrong. And everyone's going to see it and they're going to give me shit for it. So I need to make sure it's perfect. So
oh my God,
you go out of your way to visit this other store on the other side of town and you pay for the material, which is like $40 a meter more expensive, quite simply because it's slightly closer to the shade of red that you want. And
so accurate.
Yeah, I think we spend all of this time, stressing over accuracy, needs to be perfect, needs to be exactly as the picture says. But in reality, once we put the costume on, once we go to the con, we start talking to people, no one cares. It is the smallest thing in the world. And, at the end of the day, what's the reality of it? We're going to make this costume, we're going to love it, we're going to wear it 2 times, maybe 3 times if we're lucky. What do you reckon? Like, what's the most times you've ever worn a costume?
Oh my God, actually, yeah, now that I think about it, I think the most I've worn a costume is 3 times.
3 times. And that's pretty really generous by that stage too, right? It's like, third time wearing this, getting some good use out of it. And, of those times, I think we're our own worst critic. Like we kind of pinpoint things that we don't like about it. And then people are going to notice this, but no one cares. No one cares as much as we do about it. So I don't know, at some point in time, I had this level of stress, which I was putting myself through. And I think one night I said, no, it's too late. I'm not going to sew that extra buttonhole on this. It's going to go 1 button less. And lo and behold, no one cared.
It was fine. Yeah. Oh, I feel that so strongly, even when I've gone to Byron for advice, because he's really good at, I don't know if it's a boy thing, their brains are just so good at seeing shapes 3-dimensionally sometimes. Or
I think so.
I don't know. He's really good at looking at things like that, whereas my brain just is like, I no comprende. So sometimes I go to him and like, oh, this is just not right. And he's like, what do you mean? It's fine. And I'm like, no, you see how it's like a millimeter, like too short here, where in the picture it's a millimeter longer. And you're like, what the fuck are you actually talking about? It's fine. And my brain just can't accept it. And like you said, especially like, I don't even make half my stuff for competitions either. So why am I stressed about it so deeply as if someone's going to like judge it?
Going to judge it,
Like, yeah.
I mean,
it's crazy.
I think this goes primarily for everyone who's not doing competition specifically because even in a competition, I'm gonna be real with you, I've done competitions more times than it's probably healthy for someone to do within a short time frame.
I was about to ask you about that.
Yeah, and same thing, like you stress the hell out over like, oh, judges are going to notice this, they're going to see this and blah, 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 blah. They see, okay, going to be real with you, fam, this is a cheat code. So this is both as a competitor and as a judge myself, right? You see a person's outfit. You, for example, have, 10 contestants to get through. There's 2 other judges with you, and you've got a time frame of like, maybe 60 minutes, right? An hour. Sounds reasonable, right? But 10 contestants, that's 6 minutes each, and that doesn't include like walking to the judges and back to the judges and asking questions. So there is not actually that much time that they're going to put you under the microscope, right?
Yeah.
So, hot tip. If something is unfinished, you will be fine. Right? If something's not
don't
perfect,
tell them either.
Don't tell them. So you have to act like the best salesman. You pull their eyes towards, don't look at this microphone here. Look instead. Look at this water bottle. See this water bottle? Yeah, look at this.
I'm really proud of this water bottle I made. Look at all the detail on this water bottle.
Oh, and they're like, let's talk about the microphone. No, let's not talk about the microphone. Back to the water bottle, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of the times, honestly,
true.
there's stuff that I left not perfect, and I just didn't show them that. And they don't care a lot of the time. So, but again...
Or they don't notice.
Yeah. And again, at the end of the day, like, it's something you care about. You're going to be put under the microscope by like 3 people who don't know you, who don't know what you've been through. So don't judge yourself too harshly if, this person you don't know and spends 5 minutes looking at your costume says something that's like, oh, why did you do this?
Yeah, I heard that I went to a panel once. It was Where is Danielle and Rowan Berry, and it was talking about build books and being judged and stuff. And I found it very interesting as 2 people who had judged. And they basically said exactly what you said, Jeremy. They were like, don't tell us everything you don't like about your costume, because that's not a good way to like show your costume. Be confident in your costume. They said highlight the parts that you are proud of the most and the parts that you enjoyed making. Just literally talk about how you made it. Don't talk about what's unfinished, what you wish you had done, what you haven't done. Just say it as it, basically what Jeremy said in much easier and clearer words. Don't pull your costume apart in front of a judge, because they'll remember that.
They will remember it. Imagine like dating, right? When you date someone, it's not the time to go like, look, I know we just met, but these are my weaknesses. This is my trauma. These are things I hate about myself. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's not the time. No one wants that. So treat judging like the first half hour of a date. Like, you just want to tell them your good points, show them what you're proud of.
Same with people in general, actually. Now that I think about it, when you're meeting people, we've spoken about this in previous episodes. Like, don't go up to someone and be like, yeah, I hate myself and I had a shit day.
This sucks. I should just quit Cosplay. Like, whoa, bro, let's take it back a step.
He's a donut. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, exactly.
So, no, I think that's the big thing just about comps in general. It's just like, especially if you're preparing for it, like WCS is just around the corner. Good luck to everyone who is doing WCS this year.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, like, you've put the work in, you know what you're proud of, so be bloody proud of it. And, at the end of the day, you just prepare as best as you can. And there's no use, I know it's no use, but there's no use kind of stressing about like, oh, they're going to like it, they're not going to like it. No, just fucking
own that shit.
Own it. Just like, I put this in, I fucking love it. If you don't like it, well then, too bad. That's your problem.
Yeah. We're all victim to it. Pulling ourselves apart. But
it's just like,
just accept the compliments and be happy.
And just take
really
the results out of this. Because, a number of times, Danny, you probably see a competition and you're like, wow, that is top tier. you see someone else, wow, that's top tier. Like, at the end of the day, it's going to be someone has to win, and that's at the discretion of 3 people. So just because these 3 people liked the other person's better doesn't mean yours was shit.
Exactly. 100%. Yeah.
But this is a good time because, like, we're talking about burnout here, right? Let's just get, like, a quick little addressing it. Danny, how do you address being burnt out? Like, what do you do? What do you do personally to kind of deal with it?
So I've learned to not force myself further into it because it's really easy when you're feeling burnt out and you have responsibilities, cosplay wise anyway.
Yeah.
And it's not even necessary like you have to do it. So when I say responsibilities, I mean, I have a checklist of things I need to finish making for a costume for a con. There's a deadline, but it's not like you're being paid for it and someone's forcing you to do it. It's just a mental responsibility. I don't force myself to keep going if I'm burnt out. I have a break. It's really hard though. Like Byron's helped me a lot with this, you know, when I feel stressed and overwhelmed or I'm crying because I'm like, my brain is just can't comprehend. He just sits me down. He's like, do you want hot chocolate? Do you want to go get a cheeseburger? Do you want, like, let's just take a step back.
Macca's run, like, touch some grass, pat a dog.
Take a step back and calm down. And sometimes my step back and calming down lasts a week and then I go back into it. It's the same with social media too. I'm just like, you have to let yourself pull away for a moment and recollect. Like, even if you don't get the costume done, it's not worth the mental health problems that come with it, you know? Like, your mental health, most important, like, and physical health.
You make a really good point there because a lot of us think, oh, well, if I jump off the bandwagon for even a second, then, you know, it's just going to go kaput. Like, all the work I've done is going to go to nothing. And that's obviously not the case because people have taken a week holiday off something and come back and people still remember who they are, kind of thing.
Exactly.
And it shouldn't be one of those things where you work yourself to the point in which you burn out and you don't want to look at something anymore ever again. It's so much better, like you said, taking a step back, taking a pause, doing something that actually helps you feel better. And then when you do come back, you can hit the ground running and be even more efficient than you were before. So
exactly. You come back so much stronger. And then you look at it, you're like, why the fuck was I worried? Like, you're like, why did I freak out over this? When you calm down and you're like, this is like, it's just, you know, you put it there and it's done. You just need a fresh mind sometimes to delve back into it.
But that's another tie-in actually to the next part we were going to just talk about, which is FOMO, right?
And yes.
We were always thinking like, we actually had a good chat with one of our followers just over Instagram in the last week, and they were talking about how they feel like they're missing out because, you know, they're working so much. They've got the wonderful fiance to spend time with. They've got a household to run, and they don't just have enough time in the year to cosplay more than 2 or 3 times. And they say, I want to do more though because I really like it. There's lots of plans I have. And it's very easy to get FOMO, obviously, because we're watching all of these super hot people on Instagram post all of these super cool costumes and, they're making these posts with heaps and heaps of likes. Too. And your friends are like, holy shit, they look so amazing. And I want to
And they're like, come with us. Yeah.
And, I mean, what's the reality of it, Danny? Are we all going to just be able to do that every day? Or what's the reality of it?
No. It's so hard because it's so funny. When I first, was slowly getting back into cosplay again, I was going to 1 or 2 cons a year. Yeah. And I'd have one build for that whole year. And it wasn't even anything crazy because I was working full time and I was streaming. And it was just, it just wasn't going to happen that I went to every single con. But it's hard because I guess you don't know what you're missing out on until you actually go and do it, if that makes sense.
That's a good way of looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't until I decided, I might try this. I'd have a friend invite me along. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go. And then because you go and you enjoy it, you're like, I want to do that again. That was really fun. I want to do more. And so now you feel like you're missing out on something because you've experienced how great it is.
Yeah, it can be like that.
But if it's not in your face all the time, it's a lot easier. So now that I'm at the point where I'm at, it's really hard sometimes to say no to going to cons. There's a lot of cons I've actually skipped this year. Last year, me and Byron,
you guys did so many last year.
Yeah.
Holy
We're
hell.
talking to Castle Forge about this too. He was the same. Like so many people that, you know, in the community were like, we did too much last year. I wanted to pass out. I was like, yeah, that was a rough year and we learned from it. Mm-hmm. And we're just, but the good thing about it was that we know what to prioritize. Like we know what we liked and didn't like. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's all about, you know, allocating your time well.
Well, I think and the key behind it really is sometimes we get the choice in doing something.
Yeah.
Right. And the reason we say yes or no to something is obviously for various reasons. The one thing I would suggest to everybody listening is if there is something that you are interested in, okay, if it is possible to do so and it's not going to cripple you financially or emotionally or with your energy, try it. Right? Just try it. So, for example, Danny is going to Canberra for a guest for a convention. Awesome. Congratulations, Danny.
Thank you. Now, Geek Markets, let's go.
Yeah. And it could be one of those things. And I had this exact thought, right? It's like, because you live in the Sydney area and Canberra is obviously a bit of a travel. It's not like it's a con down the road. It's not like a con that's, you know, a short train trip, right? You actually have to travel for it. Now, for a lot of people, it could be, you know, oh, that's too far away. It's going to cost me a lot of money. I might have to take a weekend off. I might have to take a couple of days off work. I'm not sure if it's going to be worth it. Like, we're going to come up with all of these reasons why it's not possible. So one thing I would suggest is come up with reasons about why it is possible.
Yeah, that's smart.
Because at the end of the day, you're going to be like, oh, I would have tried to go for this thing, but I was too busy. There's always going to be a reason why we're too busy to do things in life.
Yeah.
Right? Family
100%.
things, job things. Like, I get it. And that's going to be a realistic part of life. But when something does pop up, for example, like you and me going to AvCon, right?
Yeah.
We were going to AvCon and we thought, oh, we're going to do it. I don't know. And then opportunity came up and we're like, should we do it? And I did exactly that. Thought about the reasons how we can make it work. I was like, all right, cool. I can take a day off. I can get an early flight. You know, we can try and make this work, right? So we're going to try. And it could be the best thing we've ever done, Danny. It could be like the best convention. It could be, hopefully not, touch wood, it could be the worst thing we've ever done, right?
Yes, exactly.
But we'll be able to look back on it and say, hey, look, this was a great use of our time. I was like, look, I tried it, didn't like it. Next time I know that it happens, I won't be getting FOMO because I didn't miss out, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so, that's 100%. I think, I feel like that's what I was kind of trying to explain earlier too. When you've tried, the good thing about trying everything is you now know what was worth and wasn't worth your time and money and effort.
Absolutely.
No shade on any cons out there, obviously, but for someone who lives locally, that con is worth it. For someone who has to fly interstate, it might not be worth it. I was also going to talk about how I have a list. I should probably share this somewhere, but I have a list of all the cons in Australia.
And they've got like a tier system.
There's no tier system, but it's like me and Byron go through it each year and we like put like a little tick emoji. Like, yes, we definitely want to go to this. There's like an orange for, that's a maybe. And
it
then
is a tier system. It's like, hell yeah. It's like, kind of like, nah, not going again.
I mean, true. It's organized by tier though. It's organized by like month. So each month we see how many cons are there. And sometimes there's like 3 cons back to back or on the same day.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunately we have to prioritize. Like we'll prioritize one that's in Sydney, depending. But usually we prioritize Sydney,
of course,
over interstate because we live in Sydney, for example. So we're not as surprised when something comes up and we randomly. There's not as much randomly let's go kind of moments. The Geek Markets is probably the only one we've randomly decided to go to this year.
Let's go.
Yeah, because I discovered it this year. We didn't know it existed last year. So, sometimes they will come up. But I wouldn't, if I couldn't do it, I wouldn't go, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
if I can't afford to go, I wouldn't go. That's with any con. So, it's good to be prepared. I think my whole point is just be organized and be prepared. Like figure out what cons you want to go to, when they are, how much is it going to cost you? Is it worth it? What are your costumes? Rewear one, make one. Like, if you figure it out ahead of time, it helps so much, especially with work, because you could be like, work, I need all of this time.
Yeah.
A year in advance. Here you go. Bam.
I mean, this actually ties in very well to our next section, which is all about budgeting, right? Because a realistic part about cosplay is it costs money, just like any hobby, right?
Oh, yes.
And you made a really good point, Danny, about kind of like, is this within the budget to do so? Because let's be real, there's cons which are local, and some people, which is just fine, like that's what we all used to do, we just go to the local ones, right? And you'll know what it looks like, you know what kind of things are there, you know who to expect. And for a lot of us, that's all we need. For some of us mad people, we love to travel and go see more cons because it's a different experience, different people, different parties, you know, different things going on. And I think that's just one of the fun things about doing the convention circuit is you do get the chance to travel, have a bit of a holiday, you know, connect with or reconnect with people from around the country, around the world, right? And just kind of get to see what's different and get involved in that. So I think that's one of the best parts about being part of this community or being part of this hobby in general is that it's starting to become so widespread that we can kind of travel for it, which is really fun. Right?
Yeah. And then it's hard because then you feel like you're missing out even more when you have friends interstate or even internationally. You're like, I really want to go because I miss that friend. And it's like, but you can't really afford to.
Yeah, it'd be like that sometimes.
Makes it harder. Yeah. But like you said, budgeting is super important because, again, like you said earlier, being in a financially shit spot is no bueno.
Yeah.
No one wants to be there. It's super important to figure out where your money's going and how much you have to spare. And then you can also figure out how much time you need to save up.
Yeah.
And then you can determine, okay, once I've hit that amount within this time frame, how much time is it now going to take me to make it?
Yeah.
And then what con after that time frame can I actually realistically use it for?
I mean, you're doing good, Danny, because you can actually think of more than one con at once. Like I'm doing AvCon and Smash back to back. It's like that's ruining me. I can't think that far ahead. So we'll do. I think I want to do
overlapping.
That's just it. I want to do a whole episode just specifically about travel, right? How to maximize travel. But just on the topic of budgeting while we're here is what are some ways, in your opinion, that any cosplayer can do? If you're a cosplayer and you want to kind of travel on a budget interstate, what are the best ways as a cosplayer to save money on that trip?
Okay, so it really depends. But so for me and Byron, we drive actually interstate most of the time.
Interesting.
Because for us, it's cheaper.
Okay.
Simply because, like, it's two of us and we're sharing the car. And sometimes if someone's with us, petrol's even cheaper then because it's split 3 ways.
Yep.
And then we don't have to worry about luggage. Like, we can have as much luggage as we want. We can take our time. And so driving is cheaper for us. But if you're not driving and you're flying, it gets a bit more tricky.
Of course.
Flying costs so much money. Oh my God. You definitely should probably think about booking in advance, not last minute. I believe a lot of the time, I don't know if this is true or not, but I feel flights, like flight centers and accommodation websites, they see a pattern of everyone booking around a certain time. And as it gets closer to the event, the prices start going up because they can see there's a need for those time slots. So when you do it in advance, I don't know if this is actually true or not, I feel like it's cheaper because they have it clicked on.
I think you're correct. I think you're correct in that. So the earlier that you do book things, the better. That goes to both flights and hotels. Particularly flights, I know as that goes up, it's like, oh, people are booking more. We should jack the prices up a little bit. So
100%.
If you're like me,
group accommodation,
you don't have any friends who want to drive super interstate, except which he's going with a full car of luggage. There's no space for me. So with flights, like Danny said, book early. That's the best thing you can do.
Yeah.
I would also say as well, pack light. I know that's very difficult to say because you want to shop all your big builds and all big armor sets and all that. But I guess the question then is, what is your priority for going to a convention? Because if it is to cosplay, you want to make a big thing with your costumes, then absolutely, make sure you pack safely and you pick the right airline, and you triple check what the oversized luggage rules are for each airline, because that's going to be a big thing about it.
Yes.
But otherwise, if you're like me, I'm going to try, believe it or not, to just take on-hand carry, because that's obviously going to save you for luggage space.
100%.
And I won't go into this episode, but if you prefer Qantas or Virgin, pick a side and get on their like rewards points thing.
Yeah.
Danny,
that helps a lot.
Oh, I've been banking up points like crazy. It's so good. It helps with the travel.
It does. It really does.
But I think the biggest thing is try, and if you are rushed for time, you don't want to be stressed, is quite literally just rewear an old costume. Rather than having 100%. To stress for something, get it done before the flight, or go to or even worse, travel, go to the hotel room and figure out how to finish your costume in the hotel room before the con. Because it's so much better being like, what, fuck this. I'm just going to go out with friends for dinner. I'm going to go out with friends to the club or whatever and have a good time instead of sitting by yourself in the hotel room just finishing this costume. Like, it sucks. It sucks.
It does.
So
100% agreed. I was just thinking back to when we've, flown. I don't know if anyone's noticed, a lot of time when I'm at an interstate con, I'm not wearing crazy big builds because, like Jeremy said, I'm packing lighter. Like TGX, I did Jury, which is basically a bodysuit and a little bit of clothing. Then I also did Lunar Snow, again, very light. Like the heaviest thing I think in my costumes was my shoes. So like the costume itself is very light. So I try to do characters that are kind of like a bodysuit or lighter fabrics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like otherwise it's a bit more expensive.
It can be. But I think that kind of also, comes into realistically, sometimes you are going to have a costume which you really want to wear and to get finished.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just don't finish it. And that's fine.
Yeah.
Danny, has that ever happened to you? You're like, I'm going to crunch for this thing, but at one point in time you said, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm quitting and I'm stopping, and that's it. Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah. So actually recently I wanted to make my Doom costume. Specifically, I wanted to finish the helmet in time for the launch of the event. Right. It was very spontaneous. I was like, I could make a helmet in a week. Never made a helmet before, mind you, but I was confident I could do it in a week, even though I had 3 events that week. So 3 outings I had to go to. One was like a birthday, one was a catch up, and the other one I think was something work related. Regardless, for some reason I thought I could do it. And then I think the day before and the night of, I was like, I'm not going to get it done in time. I don't want to rush it, and I'm just not going to do it. And we did end up going to the event anyway, because maybe a little bit TMI, but it was that time of the month for me. And I was like, I can't think of anything worse than sitting on a train for an hour and just feeling like shit, and then being surrounded by people and being like, I'm going to murder someone if they breathe wrong near me. So I'm like, it's not the time.
Let's just stay home this time. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
That's a good way of looking at it. How did you feel afterwards, like knowing that you unfortunately missed out? Like, did you feel like, oh shit, like world's over, I missed this opportunity? Like, how did you feel?
So I remember messaging my friend Cottony because I was like, oh, was it worth it? Like, do you think it would be worth traveling an hour for? Like, how was the event? Because she went for the creator one, which was earlier. And she was like, oh, it was great fun, but it's, I don't think you'd miss out on anything, especially if you're going to travel for an hour. And I'm like, that gave me some peace of mind as well. But I think what I was more upset about was not being able to finish something, because it was a challenge for myself. Right. And if I fail a challenge, it's not even, it's like technically I didn't even really fail. I'm still working on it. Yeah. But my challenge was finish it in this time frame. Yeah. Can you do it? I was more disappointed in that than not going to the event. Right. I was like, oh, I really wanted to, be like, I can do that. I can make something that detailed in such a short amount of time. And granted, maybe I could have if I didn't have anything else on that whole week. And I just sat down and worked nothing but on that. So I was more disappointed in not finishing it than attending the event. I was like, I really wanted to finish it.
Okay, it's just like a personal challenge more than anything else. But you've obviously prioritized, your health and your real life responsibilities, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly it. Because we're gonna want to have a deadline for ourselves to finish some costume, but stuff happens. Oh, I gotta go to work. I gotta take care of kids. I gotta, buy my shopping for this week. I'm gotta take care of myself for this time of the month, like whatever it is. And I think the worst thing we can do is just beat ourselves up. Like say,
oh my God.
Oh, Danny, you suck. You couldn't get this done in time in a week. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, holy shit. And like, look at Kamui, like pumping out another costume this week. Like, look, like, it's stupid to compare ourselves because everyone's living different lives. Everyone's, doing their own thing.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a really big thing to, give yourself a bit of credit saying, oh, I've done 2 costumes this year. Fuck yeah. I smashed those 2 costumes.
It's super impressive.
I went to those 2 events and I had a best time ever. That's what you should focus on, right?
So true. You see a lot of the people who compete as well, and all they work on for that whole year is the costume they're going to compete with. And no one, none of us care that they're not posting costumes constantly. We're just excited for the journey and the progress and seeing the end result. And I got that when I first did Set from League of Legends. Yep. I wasn't constantly posting on my feed, but everyone was watching my stories and cheering me on. And then people came up and were like, I watched you make this. It looks so good in person. And that was really special. I was like, oh, thank you. You're appreciating my hard work. It feels really good.
Because people are definitely there for the journey. They're there with you for the journey. Like the destination, if you get there, is awesome. They love it. But that destination is all the more sweet when they've kind of seen the trials and the tribulations you've been through more than anything else, right?
Exactly.
I had, God, do you remember MadFest, Danny? Madman Anime Festival?
Oh.
Yeah? That was a good time. Crap. That was a good time, wasn't it?
That's a throwback.
It is a throwback. So if anyone listening in, this is a convention that existed in Australia prior to COVID.
It was fun.
I don't know if any of you guys still buy anime DVDs, but the Australian anime distributor is a company called Madman. And they were very, very prolific in the last couple of decades, but obviously with the rise of streaming services and stuff like that, they've obviously had to change their business model, and they're not quite so present in the community as they used to be. But anyway, times change. And they used to have their own anime convention. They were doing really, really well. And they used to have their own cosplay competition. It was the national cosplay competition. The point of this story is I was competing in this cosplay competition, made it to the national final, and this exact thing happened. We had to make a skit, make a costume. We were crunching out our costume. The night before, we were trying to finish off the costume while at the same time trying to rehearse for this skit. It was just not coming together. We made the decision to pull the plug at like 3 a.m. or 3:30 the night before the comp and be like, let's call it. We're not going to do it. So we had to tell them that morning. It's like, oh, look, we can't compete. We just couldn't finish in time. And what do you think like the organizers and entrants say? They weren't like, oh, man, that really sucks. And I'm so sorry. They were just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
If that's how you feel, okay. Like, it just wasn't a big deal. And I know a point in my brain just clicked. It's like, no one gives a crap. No one cares except us.
Yeah, they just care about having the schedule and set up and quick cross that off the list for announcing like the competitors. That's it.
So, we made the decision that day to be like, all right, let's just walk around the con in normal clothes and be zombies because we obviously didn't sleep much at all.
Oh, that's so rough.
And so that was the roughest thing to me is like pulling out of the finals of a national competition. Like that sucked.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, we had managed to enter again the next year, going through many more hoops. Like holy crap. So went to the next year, finished it off, but that costume now it's just full of trauma because we spent pretty much 2 years making this thing.
You get war flashbacks whenever you look at it. You're like, oh.
So I don't think we ever ended up doing a proper photo shoot for it. We took like one picture in the living room. And that's it. Like I ended up throwing out the costume a couple of years ago because it was sitting there for 6-7 years and we just never used it.
Wow. Yeah.
But again,
that's so sad.
It was a big, big learning experience of just like, look, how much does this matter? How much do you pick something that you are willing to, I hate this now. But
yeah,
it's just a real, I don't know, just snap moment of like, wow, how much does this actually matter, or how much does this actually mean? So the way I kind of approached any competition, I think from that point onward, really just changed from, I care so much, or maybe I care too much about it, to, it almost seems like it now, because obviously when I did WCS with Maya, my approach to it was completely like, let's do the best we can, otherwise not, fuck it. Like, I still tried my best, but
yeah, of course,
not to the degree that I was going to, put myself 6 feet under just to get this thing finished, because I don't think any costume, in my opinion, is ever going to be worth it that much. So
no, 100%. And that's kind of how my mindset is when it comes to competing now. I'm starting to focus more on crafting for me and deciding afterwards, I might enter this into a competition, and then adjusting or fixing it if I need to. That's what I did with Rolana for the art gallery competition I entered. I was like, I really want to fix the fabric. I want to actually sew it, because for packs, I literally just had the raw fabric from Spotlight and threw it over my shoulder. Yep. No sewing. It was literally just the cut fabric on my shoulder. So I was like, okay, I'm going to sew it. I'm going to like properly do it and make it so it makes sense. And I was like, this is so much more comfortable and it looks better. And I made my mini build book, but I didn't make it for a competition. Yeah. Like, I originally made Rolana as a challenge for myself, and it was such an interesting experience because I had a deadline. I'm like, I really want to get this done for PAX. Like, it was so important to me to finish it. And although there was a lot of moments kind of similar to what Jeremy was saying, where I was like, I can't do it, I'm not going to get it done in time, or I was stressed and I was like, I got upset because I'd get stuck on a specific part. I'm like, well, I'm not going to get it done now because I'm stuck on this part forever. But eventually I'd move past it, and then I was back on like a flow again. And I was moving fast, and I was like, shit, here we go. I think 2 days before we had to drive was when I finished it.
Nice. You did it.
And I didn't even fully finish it because I had to do the wig in the hotel, and I put the wig on Byron. He looks so pretty, but anyway.
It's funny, isn't it? Because we can talk about like stress and time management and all this, but at the end of the day, like, we're always going to be con crunching. I think it's just part of cosplay culture in general.
It is. It's so hard to avoid it.
It's hard to avoid, but I think if anything, what you can take away from any of this discussion really is you are going to figure out what you like and don't like over time as you do it and you go through it. And all we're going to learn from it really is, this is what I'm willing to do. Like, this is my limit. And from now on, that's my cutoff. And for some people, it's like, nope, I'm going to keep pushing that limit. Because
100%. Oh my God.
Have you done an all-nighter before, Danny? Like, all the way around the clock, not sleeping?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Would you do it again?
Yes. Fuck no. I ended up going to that convention at 3 p.m.
There you go. And it's like, what's the point? So,
mind you, it costs like $80 too to get in, and I only fucking
you're there for like an hour or two, and you're like, what's the point, right?
Yep.
Oh God.
So 100% would not do that again. I wanted to also add on to that. It's okay to buy your costumes. So like, if you spontaneously want to go to a con and you're like, I don't have time to make something, but I have time to, like, something can ship in time. There's nothing wrong with that. I see some people fuss over making every single costume. I'm like, bro, some costumes cost you more to make than to buy. I know that sucks, but it's true.
In this day and age, it can be a lot cheaper just to buy a lot of things. And it's really funny because I think I know where that comes from, as someone who grew up in an age of making costumes was the only way to get a costume. Like, costumes didn't exist.
It was
easy
rough
cosplay
out
didn't
there,
exist.
man.
Like, it was rough.
Yeah.
So you had to make everything.
It was only eBay.
Even eBay was limited, right? Or it was some random shop in Canada that sold costumes for like $450 US for some, series that's like, wow, that's a suit jacket and pants I could probably buy. So I think when it comes to like, I need to make this, I think to me, just as a random question, Danny, was that mostly people who were a little bit older, or like in their late 20s, early 30s, or?
No, I feel like it's a lot of the young ones as well.
Interesting.
I don't know. I don't think, because I think like you and me, the older ones, not to say we're old, but
Old
we
as
kind
hell.
of are. Like, but you know, we've gone through having to make things, and we've also learned that it's okay to buy things. So most of the time, the older people, we get it. We're like, I'm not going to like kill myself for a cosplay.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of the younger ones, some of them have this twisted idea that you have to make absolutely everything to even be considered a cosplayer. Like, I'll be like, you look amazing. Like, oh, thank you. I didn't make it though. I was like, that's fine. Like, you still look great.
What the hell?
You know,
It's really weird. Like, I remember back when people were buying things, it's like, oh, this is awesome. I'm like, oh, did you make it? It's like, nah, I kind of bought this one. It's like, oh, that's cool, whatever. It's like, otherwise, they'll put a lot of pride into makes. Like, yeah, I made everything head to toe. Absolutely, it's all me. And I'm like, okay. Like, it doesn't change my opinion of you whatsoever if you make everything, if you buy everything, right?
Exactly.
So, it really has gotten to the stage now, Danny. If I can buy it and it looks all right, I'm going to buy it. If I can't buy it, I have to ask myself, is this worth making? And if the answer is yes, then I'll do it. But most of the times these days, it's no. It's not worth making. So I just don't.
I have to love the character to make it. Otherwise, I just won't have the my brain will be like, not worth it.
You just don't care.
That was for me throughout all of school too.
Oh,
it was really it was a struggle at school for me, because if I wasn't interested in the topic, I'd kind of zone out. I'm like, why do I need to study this? Like, I don't care.
I don't need to learn math. Addition sucks.
It was more like geology and stuff.
Right.
No, not geology. Geography. Why did I say geology?
That's rocks.
Geography. I was like, oh, I don't care about geography. Why should I care?
I don't care where Nevada is. Sorry to anyone listening from Nevada. I don't.
And I'm like, it's not saying that any of the topics weren't important, but my younger self only really excelled in specific topics or during a time where the topic was interesting.
Yeah.
So, and that's the same for cosplay for me. If I'm not interested, like if I don't want to, make it, I'm not going to make it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, everyone expects you to make it, so you have to make it, or you're not a cosplayer. I'm like,
nah.
I tell people where I get shit from. I'm like, yeah, you could buy it from here. They have a sale on, there's a discount. There's, go for it. You can adjust it too. Like, I don't like it when people tell beginner cosplayers they have to make everything. It's great to start out buying and making little detailed things like your little pendants or the earrings, or, work on making the wig look good. Like, there are other ways to be creative without having to buy your costume. I mean, it should be about being creative.
That's the crux of it. Because I don't think anybody really comes from a background. It's like, yeah, my mum was a perfect seamstress and they're teaching me how to make costumes. And in fact, last person I dated, they quite literally said, I like costumes so much, or I like cosplay so much. They went to TAFE quite literally just to learn how to sew and do things. And that's really cool. I think it's really nice of you to do that. But I think it's like you said, it just starts with being creative. Maybe you buy a costume, maybe you make the prop, or you make the trinkets, or you make some small part of it. And then, obviously, as time goes on, this costume, I want to try make a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, but,
we all start off small.
I think the big thing there is, did you actually enjoy the process of making it?
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you hate
enjoying it is so important. Yeah.
Because I definitely know people I've met, it's like, I just enjoy wearing it and looking pretty. Power to you. Just buy the costume and just wear it and look pretty, because that's what cosplay is also all about.
Yeah, and I feel like you can be creative, because for me, like, cosplay is a form of art and expression.
Yeah.
And just like people who love to cook or love to paint or love dancing, it's just again, creative form of expression. So, when people say you have to make something, there are other ways to be creative. I think art, like, not art. Yeah, art is obviously creative.
I'm so creative, Danny, what the fuck?
I meant makeup and wig styling and hair and even your nails and your shoes. Like, it's all part of being creative
just
and having
expressing
fun.
Yourself. Different hair colors, different wig colors, different eyeshadow palettes. There's so many different things you can do.
Yeah.
So
it's all about having fun. Yeah, exactly.
Now, I think one last thing I kind of want to bring up, since tying this all together, is what the biggest thing that can really make or break your experience is quite literally when you go to the convention itself, right?
Yeah.
So at the con, to yourself, Danny, what is the most stressful thing, and how can you kind of redirect that bad juju to make it like good juju and make it like a good experience, especially when you're feeling stressed at a con?
Yeah, I feel, I guess it depends on what's making you stressed. So, for example, let's just say you're at your accommodation, but you haven't looked into how to get to the actual convention. You don't know your way around the city. You don't know how much it's going to cost. Like on the day, you're like, okay, I'll just Uber it. It costs you $70. And you're like, fuck, I don't have that money.
Yeah.
That's stressful. Then it's like, oh, I'll just catch public transport. You need a MyKey card. What the heck's a MyKey card? Where do I get a MyKey card for? How much do I have to put on the card? And then the stresses, they keep piling up. It's all about preemptively being prepared before you even get to the con.
Yeah.
Okay. Aside from that, I feel I like to, so me and Byron, maybe it's just my OCD, but I have like a little con bag and it straps around my waist and leg, because when I wear backpacks, it hurts my shoulders and I hate that. So I have one that goes around my waist and I only have what's essential. Unless I have a spare change of shoes, then that usually goes into the cloakroom. Some people have like the wheelie bag
trolleys,
things.
yep.
But like I said before, it's all about preemptively doing your research on the con. Do they have a cloakroom? Do they allow the trolley bags? Some security don't allow trolley bags. Is there even any parking at the convention if you're driving? Where the heck are you going to park? Having the map is so good too. I like to look at the map and be like, okay, if I need to go to the bathroom, I know they're all along here or they're outside. This is where the first aid area is. This is where I can eat. This is where I can run away. It's just like, maybe that's also a positive of being an anxious person. You want to avoid every problem.
It's so interesting listening to you say these things, because I'm not like that. I'm the complete polar opposite. It's like, oh, so yeah.
Byron.
It's like, hotel is here-ish. How are we going to get to the con? Oh, I'll figure it out. Oh, MyKey, public transfer, what's that? Oh, I'll talk to someone about it. It's fine. I'll work it out. Go to the con, don't know where anything is. Oh, I'll talk to someone. I'll figure it out. It's like, where's the bathroom? Where's people I know? It's like, oh, I'll meet people. I'll find the bathroom. Like, it's one of those things I just kind of do it on the fly. But it's really interesting, because if you're like Danny and you need to know exactly where things are for one particular circumstance, then absolutely do your planning, do your research, do all the preemptive things that's going to make you feel a bit more secure about the day, about if things go wrong. But I think for me, it's, and obviously with Byron as well, it's just like, oh, if something goes wrong, we'll figure it out. There's no use worrying about it until it's actually there to worry about, because otherwise we're wasting a good worry.
It's honestly so good to have one of each, I feel. Like, it's always good to have the one who knows everything, what's happening and where everything is, and the one who can also tell you it's fine that we don't know something and calm you down when you freak out because you forgot something. Like, there'd be times where I was like, oh my God, I forgot my Panadol. I didn't pack Panadol. And Byron will be like, there's like a 7-Eleven right there. We'll just grab it. And I'm like, oh, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's all good. It's just little things like that, you know? So I think it's really good to have that combination of someone who's like carefree and knows that there's always going to be a solution. We don't need to stress about everything. But I feel like if you're an anxious person, or even if you're the type that gets really overstimulated or has even any medical conditions, it's even more important to preemptively plan ahead. Like, where are your escape routes? Like, where can you go?
It's definitely good, because you might think, oh, but I think it's good particularly for certain circumstances where there is something that you did need to, like, for example, pre-book a ticket, or you needed to pre-plan something ahead of schedule because you can't do it at the venue. And that's definitely a thing. And that's really saved my ass before for a lot of different things. It's like, oh, don't worry about it later. And you're like, I didn't, because we wouldn't be able to do it. I'm like, nice, because I would have not done that. So it's definitely good to have a good combination of those things. So, but I think more than anything else for stressing at a con, I think a lot of the time, and this is just cosplay in general. So if anyone's denying this, you're lying to me. You're lying to yourself. We're all there because we want to dress up and look hot, right? That's cosplay. There's no ifs, buts, or maybes about it. The only possible difference is if you're wearing something for fun. like Charizard onesie,
to be funny,
or to be funny, right? Or just there for the vibes, right? But for the most part, a good majority of if you're putting on any kind of makeup whatsoever, I will say you are there to look hot. I put on makeup, I'm there to look hot, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. However, I do feel that a lot of us put on this pressure for ourselves to go there and be like this hot, cool, I'm really popular kind of person, right? Yeah. And that is going to add another level of I need to perform a certain way. I need to talk to people a certain way. I need to make sure that I'm not seeming like appearing this certain way, right? Yeah. And that does lead us to be like, oh, I'm very busy. I need to go over here. Oh, I can't talk. I need to go over here. It's like, oh, I'm waiting for someone, blah, 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 blah. That you'll always come up with some kind of excuse because you're obviously worried or anxious about how you appear, right? Mm-hmm. So if this is you and you're like, oh, wow, maybe I don't stick around and talk to people. Maybe I am just kind of like hovering around looking hot and trying not to be a bother to people and not actually having fun, right? If this is you, because this was definitely me for a long time, I was like, oh, I need to be like that hot guy. I need to be like the one that's not creepy. I need to be the one that's like not being a bother to people. But as a result,
that's hard,
Yeah, I wasn't talking to anyone. I wasn't making any friends. I wasn't having any fun because I was just too worried about what other people would think about me, doing things that are too performative, if anything, right?
Yeah.
So, what you need to do is ask yourself, what's my goal of today? Is my goal to turn around, look hot, not bother anyone, not be creepy, and I do all these things? Or is it to have fun? And if the answer is to have fun, which it should be, how do you have fun? Should be a different answer for everybody.
100%.
So, Danny, how do you have fun at cons? What do you like to do at cons that means you're having fun?
It's so, I was just thinking about that, we all put an effort into how we look and we want to make sure we look good.
Yep.
Aside from loving the character and being like, yeah, like I feel good. I feel like I look like the character. I feel cute. I feel bonita. It's important to feel like that. It sucks when you put on a costume and you're like, oh, no.
This sucks.
This is awful. But I'm just, as an extrovert, I kind of like, I always compare myself to a dog. And even Byron said this. I'm just like, wow, a dog. Like, I'm like a dog, like an excited dog. I'm like, listen, oh my God. Yeah. So when I first got back into it, I was never like, the only time I didn't go around talking to people was when I had a really bad headache.
Yep.
When I first got back into cosplay. It was like Smash like 3 years ago.
Yeah, well.
And I was just like Arataki Ito looking like he's seen shit. I looked so dead. I was barely making effort to talk to people because every time I spoke, I felt the vibrations hurting my skull. I was like, ugh. So that was the only time. But anyway, rambling a bit. When I feel good, I'm happy to go off on my own and just go talk to everyone. Yeah. And I always found that very exciting and fun. And I loved asking people questions like, how'd you do this? How did you make that? Where are you from? Do you live here? You from, because some people are interstate, not like tell me your address, kind of where are you from? But I've always been curious about people and learning about people. That's like my kind of fun. It's because not everyone cares.
That's real extrovert energy right there. The curiosity to learn from people. That's really good. It's how you meet people.
But yeah, because I guess I just wanted to be more part of the cosplay world, and I wanted to figure out what it was all about, because I had a vague idea, growing up and cosplaying every so often and going maybe once a year or every few years. So when I started to get more into it, I was like, this is really cool, like meeting all these people and learning about them and why they love their characters and what they want to do next. And I was like, oh, this is fun. Yeah. I mean, I approached you and I don't want to dox her, but Boosify, you both cosplayed
Trigon.
From Trigon. Right. And I was obsessed with Trigon at the time. So I was like, oh my God. So I was just like,
let's go over
like,
there.
You guys look so cool. Can I please get a photo? And then I was like, you guys did a great job. And I remember asking her how she was talking about how she made it. And I found it so interesting. She was like, I got this from an op shop and then I just sewed these buttons on. I found a little tutorial for the hat. And I was like, you're so smart, and it just kind of like spirals from there. Yeah. That's my kind of fun. Aside from people, obviously I'll be like, what panels are on? What events are on? Is the competition on? When is it? Where is it? Yeah.
It's so funny because I honestly, honest to God, unless it's been one of my friends hosting a panel or one of my friends in a performance or something, I just haven't really found interest in panels. And I think for me personally, the fun is, to me, as an introvert, exactly what you said, talking to people, getting involved with the community. Obviously not something that comes so natural to me, so I had to kind of force myself out there. But going to a panel meant sitting down for half an hour to an hour, not talking to people. And I was like, oh, missing an opportunity by actually getting the chance to talk to people. So I never went to panels specifically.
Yeah, I didn't go to panels when I was by myself. So that is a good point. And especially because I didn't, like you said, I didn't know anyone.
Yeah.
But at DreamHack, for example, me and Byron were like, oh, this is like, it's different. It's interesting. Let's see what panels are on. And there were some really informative panels. We didn't know anyone on it.
Yeah.
But we're curious. So that was probably because I was with someone and we enjoyed like sitting there and watching and then discussing it afterwards about what we learned, and then sometimes talking to the panelists themselves and being like, that was very interesting.
I mean, if you're into panels, you're into panels. That's good. But it sounds bad because I do panels, but I don't go to panels. So it's kind of like, oh, you should listen to me, but I don't. Like I said, if a friend's there, I'll support the friend. But
same. I feel like I like more informative panels than entertaining panels, unless it's something very specific that I love and would find entertaining.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's probably hard to be an entertaining panel too. Like, kudos to everyone who does entertainment panels. I can imagine that's hard to get the audience engaged and just be like, please laugh, please have fun. But I really like informative panels because I like learning about how people think and what they know and what advice they have.
Good thing for us, Danny. We're doing a combination of an informative and entertaining panel at AvCon, so you better be entertaining with me, otherwise I'm not going to be able to do this myself.
Yeah. Watch me laugh really loud at my own jokes and everyone's just quiet.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Don't worry about it.
I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, we'll give you more information about that in a second. But the whole point of this little segment of, like, you know, taking the pressure off is think about what you actually want to do at a con that's fun, and actually do it, rather than worrying about what people are going to look at you and think, or how you perform and blah blah blah. Because at the end of the day, some people are going to like you, some people are not going to like you. So you might as well just spend your time trying to find the people who do like you than worrying about the people who don't like you. Because, look, not everyone
100%.
likes me. Not everyone likes Danny, believe it or not. I know that's hard to believe.
It's true.
But there's Danny haters out there. There's Jeremy haters out there. And that's fine. So
that's okay. Yeah.
That's fine. So
in regards to haters, I remember reading somewhere it was about, you know, you're not succeeding until people start hating you, which I found so interesting because, like, I think a lot of people listening might have heard about tall poppy syndrome and how bad it is in Australia specifically. When you're succeeding, especially outside the normal realms of success, people kind of shit on you and they make excuses almost for their own lack of success in that field.
100%.
Yeah, it's so common, but, you know, you just do you. It's like, whatever.
Look, Danny, the second that you start to have haters, it's like, wow, I'm doing something right.
Yeah, I love it when I see friends post this story about a hater, like, oh my God, guys, I'm popular.
I did it, I'm famous. I got my first hater. Yes.
It's so funny. I know we're running out of time, but I quickly wanted to add on to the whole con crunch thing and stress and everything. I wanted to add on to, I've struggled with, I've had friends in the past put their stress on me. Ugh. So I might be completely ready for an event, but the night before they're getting me to style their wig, to fix their costume, to help them get, like, I get dragged into their con crunching. And mind you, that's my own fault for not saying no and be like, nah, suffer on your own, get fucked. But I don't do that because I care about people, right? But if you're the type to con crunch, think about how it might impact people around you as well. You know, people, like, I don't know, it's so weird. Maybe I think too much about how others feel when I have my own stresses. But I don't want people to freak out because I'm freaking out, if that makes sense.
Perfectly reasonable, Danny, because I think we've all been there. We want to be that helpful friend, but at the end of the day, it's like, oh God, you know, what am I doing? What have I done?
Yeah.
I can vividly remember a couple of my mates coming over to help me just do some basic shit the night before. And bless their souls for doing that. I appreciate them so much.
Yeah.
But
it's so nice.
At the end of the day, you can say
fair.
no.
It feels bad.
Say no
exactly.
if you want to sleep well at night and get ready for things, then
I've always felt bad any time that I've like, even if it's intentional or not, dragged someone into comp crunching with me. Yeah, it's just I hate it. I hate putting people out. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
I know.
I'm a terrible human.
I told you about the time when I first started getting into cosplay. I didn't really know how to sew very well, so I got my mum to help me with a bunch of stuff. And there was this one time I remember that I couldn't do this particular part, so I asked my mum to help. Like, sweet, and I literally had to wait until she had finished so I could finish it off. And so I went out to dinner with friends. I came home at like 11:30. She was still working on it, and I'm like, this is the last time I'm ever going to get her to help with something, because I just like, I'll never put my mum through that again.
She's so cute.
I know. And so I was like, that was it. I never asked her again to help with anything, because I was like, if I do this myself and I fail, then I fail, because I'm not dragging my mum into this. That's
100%.
That's where I draw the line. I'm not doing that again. So
yeah.
But bless parents who help cosplayers with their ambitions. That's a blessing. So.
Yeah, my dad's helped me so many times.
Bless Danny's dad. Bless Danny's dad.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Anyway, this episode was brought to you by Danny and Jeremy. We don't really have any sponsors just yet, but we're working on it.
Say sponsor. No. I was like, who?
Jeremy, what happened? No, nothing happened yet, Danny. But if you would like to support the Just Because podcast, we have the Just Because podcast cosplay Patreon. Ooh. For the cost of a cup of Australian coffee a month, you can join the Just Because fam, our private Discord, our growing family of supporters, where we basically talk, we chat, we exchange cosplay tips, and we complain to each other, and it's a nice little community we're growing. It's good vibes. But actually, Danny, this is going to be released very soon, end of June. If we haven't announced it already, we're coming to both AvCon and Smash. I think we're still confirming Smash things, but for AvCon, we're doing a panel. So if you guys are in AvCon and you would like to come see our panel, it's going to be at 2:00. I don't know where it is just yet, but it's at 2:00 at AvCon. It's going to be fun, so please come check us out if you're at AvCon.
Yeah. We also have discount codes if you want to go to Hoshi, like me and Jeremy. There's so many out there. Like if you can't find us, you will find someone.
You'll find someone. But if you want to come to the club with
the club.
If Just Be Club with Just Because, then we're going to be at both Adelaide and Sydney Hoshi. So Danny's code is
Danny10.
Danny10. And mine is simply Mangle. For Mangle Phantom, just without the Phantom part. So, Danny10 or Mangle, feel free to use the codes and come to the club, and we'll share a soda water with us. So, it'll be good. Anyway, till then,
that was good.
No more stressing if you can help it. Otherwise, tell us all about whatever you're working on right now, and we'd love to hear about it.
Yes.
We'll send some good vibes your way.
100%. Thanks, guys, for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Always happy to answer any questions too.
Yeah, and if you've got any episode suggestions, DM us. We want to hear some from you.
Yes, please.
Anyway, all right. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next week.
Everyone.
All right. Bye.